take slow. The night gets deep. Your silhouette a secret I keep. Whispers crawl where the shadows lead. Velvet skies, your name's a song.
Hey, welcome back to Sacred and Naked. I am Charity, your sacred intimacy guide. And if you are looking for an intimate view on healing or love, all things love, self-love or partnered love, or if you simply need a reminder that you are not alone, you have come to the right place. Welcome to my safe space. Today you are going to get a really intimate, vulnerable view in real time on healing. A couple weeks ago, I said yes to pleasure and I opened myself up to receiving love after 8 months of healing and kind of detoxing my body as far as sexual energy goes. And if you follow me on social media, I've been posting about how I haven't had dick in 8 months or whatever. 7.5, 8 months. Been since November. And very sensual and sexual person, and where I take it very seriously about who I share my energy with and who I receive in that way. I am human, and I have needs and I have wants, so that desire never goes away. And so in that, being very intentional about detoxing my body and kind of cleansing those old partners out, I was calling in a specific energy, a specific partner, a specific dick, really, that I wanted to experience. You go that long, and I've been longer. I've been almost 3 years. This is consecutive or whatever. And so 8 months in comparison to 3 years is not a huge deal, but energetically, for some reason, it was a lot of hard work. The guys that I was cleansing out of my system were guys that I really, really liked for a lot of reasons. And so I really wanted my next guy to be in alignment with who I am and what I want and where I'm going. So I did do an episode on a potential. I did spend a little sexual arousal, sexual tension time with a friend, and I did consider breaking it with him, but the energy just wasn't right. And I did try to convince myself, or try to make it work, try to force it, and it just wasn't meant to be. And I'm glad, because I had reservations anyway about it, just because of some things. I made a video about it, so go back and watch that video. So I was cool with not breaking it home. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I had a reading, and I said yes to pleasure and opening up myself for, pleasure and sex and love. And I did candle rituals every week, every Tuesday, to bring passion and love into my space. And I don't know if you remember, but a couple of months ago, I made a video. I had my homegirl on here with me, and we talked about me being ghosted after a week. And the guy that ghosted me, I was in a very, very vulnerable place because of my podcast and how it blew up on social media and my job and all that type of stuff. And he came and he came really, I don't want to say aggressively, but intensely to support me. And I had prayed for that. And so when he came, even though I wouldn't say he's necessarily the type of guy that I normally go for, because he came in that way with that energy while that stuff was going on, I received him. That was like the second time he had reached out. The first time I was unavailable because I was engulfed in my guys that I, was talking to. So, and then he ghosted me. I come to find out, a tragedy had happened. And that's why he ghosted, and I understood that. And he reached out a couple weeks ago after I had opened myself up to pleasure, and I said what I needed to say. I wasn't open to talking to him because I didn't like the way I was ghosted. Even after knowing what happened, I value communication very much. So I said what I needed to say, and I felt good about saying what I needed to say. But a week after that, on a sacred Sunday, my sacred Sundays are Sundays where I don't talk to anyone. I pour into myself. I'm not on social media. I journal, and I just, I'm in my thoughts. I fast a little bit, just in my thoughts. I'm spending time with myself. I'm goal planning or goal setting or whatever, and just reflecting really heavy. But a couple weeks ago, like a week after he had reached out, he was on me so heavy. And so I reached out on Facebook and was like, hey, I meant what I said about the communication, but you're really heavy on me today. And so I just wanted to say that, I am sorry that happened to you. And, I can't imagine, how you felt or how you've been in that space. And I just want you to know I'm sending you love. And he was like, I really appreciate it. And I miss you and all of this. And so I told him, I miss you too. I do miss the energy. I miss it was just the adoration was so much fervor. It just was amazing. It just felt good. Hey, I'm yours. I'm here. What do you need me to do? I'm here for you, blah, blah. And I really missed that. And I missed it from him. I get it now. I get it from my girlfriend. I get it from my husband. I get it from my friends. I get so much love. I get so much support. But his just felt just different. And I think that I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'm a sucker for somebody old, from back in the day saying, oh my God, I've always had a crush on you. Oh my God, I've always known that, you were going to be this and that and blah, blah. My ego is so fucking, I'm not going to say fragile, but I love my ego stroke. So, you can, almost, I wouldn't say almost anybody can get to me, but, if you got the right combination of things, then you could get my attention in that way. And so I did miss that. And so I was very honest with him. I said, I don't want to get attached and you leave again, he was like, I would never, I never do. I'm sorry, blah, blah, whatever. So anyway, we started back talking, and it was almost like no time had passed, and it was more than the first time. So the first time I was like, Well, not the first time. The first time I didn't talk to him. The second time, when everything happened with my podcast, I was more open to him, a little more open to him because how vulnerable I was. This time, my heart was open because I had already opened it. I opened it before he even reached out. I'm open to receiving love and pleasure. Um, and then he reached out, and it just felt like it didn't feel like a coincidence, even though Mercury was in retrograde, and I didn't talk much about that, but Mercury was in retrograde, and I really felt like, at first I felt like he came back so I could say what I needed to say, because I really was I took it hard. The ghosting, I took it hard. And I don't know if you've been ghosted before. I'm sure you have. But ghosting hits different when you have an abandonment wound, okay? And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit more today. So anyway, let's fast forward. We're having great conversation, and it's just so much good energy and so much just, that I'm like, okay, this feels good. Feels like no time has passed. Like, he's saying all of the right things. If you follow me on social media, you know I've been posting. Like, he's saying all the right things. Everything he's saying, every response is perfect. Every response to like my being polyamorous and like having two partners and how he just want to fit in and he just want to, everything's perfect. Another thing he said that like made me feel like, oh shit, you the one. Like, all my two partners, I have two partners, they say it's your world, we just living in it, you do it, you doing what you want to do, whatever. And so when he said that it's your world, I'm just happy to be a part of it. I was like, oh shit, that's a sign. Like, you here, you him or whatever. And it was so fucking bad. It was so fucking bad. And I think a myth about like polyamory is that like we don't commit and it's just like a sex thing, but it's not. For me, it's very much a love thing. And like, when I have what I need in, the partner or whatever, I'm done. Like, I'm committed, And so he's saying all the right things, and I'm like, oh, he's it. And so all the other like suitors, all the other people that's pursuing me, I'm done. Like, I'm off limits, like the friend that I had the sexual tension with, I had a little space with, he reached out, was like, oh, let me please you. You want me to, eat your pussy? No, man, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, I hadn't even been with the other guy. I need to find something for him, a name or whatever. But I hadn't even been with him sexually yet, but I was locked emotionally. I was locked in. A few other guys have been like really pursuing me, and I've been flirting or whatever, but like I cut that shit off. Like, this him, that's it. This the third one I've been looking for. I'm good. I'm locked in. I'm done. This my dude right here. And I broke my 8-month celibacy with him, and the cuddle, I felt so safe, right? I don't want to give like too many details about like the actual thing, but his dick is so pretty and it's so big and it's nice. But what stood out for me was, so the energy in between us is safety, okay? And it's one of the first things he said, like, I want to regulate your nervous system. Like, I want to calm it. And so the energy between us is safety. And I was excited to see if the safety was also in person. And so I was nervous, of course, but when I got there and we, interacted with each other and I was held after, and I could breathe, and I felt safe, and I felt held, and I felt future, and I felt love, and I felt like I just, man, it was just over with for me. It was over with for me. I mean, over with for me. I don't even like to perform oral. Like I'm okay with it. Like I get a lot of praise or whatever behind it because I'm a pleaser, but like that's not a thing that I like. Oh my God, some women just love to suck dick. It's not me. But no lie, in this space, after connecting and after like the exchange that we've been having, I'm like, oh, I'm excited to step my game up. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to explore him, in this way. And so then he got sick maybe a couple days after, and so the communication declined, and I understood he's sick. So I get it. He still are still consistent. I mean, still talk to me every day. It just wasn't as much as it had been the past couple of weeks. But I understood that you're sick. But it never picked back up. And so my anxious attachment, it started to show. And mind you, also, my period came on this week, maybe a couple days after we were intimate. And so my emotions were already heightened, and the communication had declined, and my anxious attachment style had come back up. In my relationship with my girlfriend, I don't have an anxious attachment style. It's just a different space and a different energy. But in my relationships with men, the anxious attachment comes up a lot louder. And I thought that as I detox my body and I cleanse my, my sexual space of the guy, Q, that kind of made my anxious attachment like come up like real bad. I really worked on it with him. Like I felt like it had gotten better with him, and then I cleansed him out, and I really felt like, okay, like I've healed this. But for it to show up this week was hurtful. Like, damn, I'm still dealing with this. So yesterday we didn't talk. We barely talked. It was still okay, sweet, I can't wait to hold you again, blah blah, but it was nothing. And for some reason today I felt like we wouldn't talk at all, and so I was already feeling very anxious and very fearful. Oh my God, I'm losing him. Like, this has been really the best couple of weeks I've had in a while. Oh my God, I'm losing him. What did I do wrong? But this is the anxious attachment. Like, these are the thoughts that an overthinker, an anxious attachment style person feels. What did I do wrong? I'm gonna lose him. Like, just a panic type thing. And so every morning we say good morning and we, check on each other, whatever. And this morning it was nothing. And I'm like, damn. It's almost like I felt it. I felt like it was going to happen. And I still went on my walk, and I asked the universe for a sign. Like, give me a sign that, like, this is a safe space for me, and that, like, I'm overreacting and blah, blah. I asked to see a frog. Okay. I walk every morning at like 6:00. So frogs are not going to be up at 6:00. Like, frogs are out at night, during this time. And so I picked something that like would kind of blow my mind if I saw, right? But I love frogs too, by the way. And not just because they're green, frogs are different colors, but like, I just love frogs. My first pet was a frog. I love frogs. And so I was on my walk, and I saw 3 garden frogs on my walk. And I was like, okay, universe, okay, That's a sign. But I still could not regulate my nervous system. I was panicked. The truth is, I know I didn't do anything wrong. The truth is, I know my hormones are probably contributing to this. I'm emotional. The truth is, I know my abandonment wound is contributing to these feelings. I know that. Like, the truth is, anything could happen. Like, I shouldn't need, and I don't need, I shouldn't need constant attention to feel safe. I'm safe because I'm safe within myself, right? And I create that safety within myself. And so, an inconsistent day or a couple of days of communication does not mean I'm not safe, does not mean that I'm being abandoned, but that's just what that signified for me. And I walked 3 miles a day. I saw the 3 frogs. I was like, okay, but I still could not get myself. I made a video about what I learned this week, and all this shit sound good. But when I got in here, after the 3-mile walk, after the frogs, my sign was granted. Okay, universe showed me 3 garden frogs. And I made this video about this space is not about this person. This space was to show me that I still have these wounds that I'm working on, right? And if I'm ready for this love that I have called in, that I said I'm open to receive, this pleasure, this space of safety, this space of like growth and healing, then these old patterns, these old way of doing things, this old way of thinking cannot exist here. It can't be here. It was really hurtful for me to even feel this way today. When I got home, when I got back in the house from walking and seeing my signs and telling myself all this shit that I know is true, I was paralyzed today. I didn't eat. I couldn't move. I try to stay off social media. I hate that little fucking green dot that lets you know the person is online. Like, I hate it with a passion now because my anxiety was through the roof. I felt the panic all throughout my body. And today was not a good day. It was not a good day for me. And I kept trying to talk myself through. And I understand that, like, you're never truly done healing. And healing is not a lateral, like, journey. It's very, hit here and do this and, very layered, very complicated. But the fear of, like, please don't let this situation be like the last one. Like, please don't, like, allow me to feel that I'm not enough and that I'm not worthy, that I'm unlovable, or like all those old wounds from my childhood. They're all still there, even though I'm actively working on them. And that is a hard space to be in. That is a hard space to be in. So, man, today was hard. And I wanted to cancel the recording, but life goes on, and I'm not going to even speak into existence what this thing will be. I think that this week was for, or this space, maybe even the whole connection was for me to know that I'm still working on some things. I'm still working on my fear of abandonment. I'm still working on my anxious attachment style. It's still here. It still needs some attention. It's letting me know that there's a part of my healing that needs some attention. And I got that message. And so, Yes, I ate later on. I did not cancel my recording for tonight. I did do some other productive things with my family and for my family. So, life is life. Let me know if you've had like a situation. I don't feel bad for opening back up to him. I feel like there's no coincidence. I feel like this was a space I need to learn. I don't know that the journey is over with. I'm not going to speak on that, but it definitely was hard. It was a hard week. I do anticipate this week, coming up to be better. My cycle will be off. If you know anything about menstruation, so menstruation is when you shed your lining and your egg and all that. But this week was also about releasing what no longer serves me, which is the anxious attachment style, which is the overthinking, which is the fear of abandonment. So it was right on time, and I need to know what was still here. So let me know your experience with that, and let me know what you think. I'm loving the engagement. I'm so grateful that the subscribes are still coming up and popping. The views are still up and popping, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Until next time, bye.